So we're going to be starting off today with The Shores of Hell, Episode 2 Guide to the Ultimate Doom Speedrun. This one should go quicker than Knee Deep in the Dead, because there's less hit scanners, there's less luck to deal with. Episodes 2 and Episodes 3, like when I get out of Ep 1, are fairly consistent. There's a couple points, like the E2M2 Cacodemons, that can screw you over. And, thanks Aquila, I appreciate that. I'm thinking of any other really nasty luck points. E3M1 is bad. I have died before on like E2M4 on Deimos Labs. But yeah, we'll get started here with the no monster portion of this. But you're just going to be running through a bunch of hit scanners here. If you actually touch the walls, it does damage. It's like the Icon of Sin, or no, I think it's a Baron of Hell, or I guess they're both goats. Same thing. But we're going to come down here, we'll get the blue key, and you shouldn't be taking enough damage that you are going to die on the route back, unless you get very unlucky. But we're going to go for the shotgun. But I want to teach you a small little tool that can help you out for a part like this. So, I don't know if it was, like, more discovered in single-player or multiplayer, but if you change weapons, so I've got the fist and the pistol. If I change weapons before I get there as I'm picking up something new, like the shotgun, it'll change to that weapon faster. So if I'm halfway to the shotgun, let's do a save so that we can do this multiple times, but if I just pick it up, you know, it kind of takes a good second for you to get to your shotgun. But if I change to my fist, it's faster. So let's try this again. Very quick change. I'd say it saves you a half second. And when you're coming up against these two shotgunners, that's going to be enough time for you to get off like an extra shot. You're going to aim towards here for your green armor. If you need this, you can grab it for your extra plus 25. For all the other progression in this map, like you can bring these up for the switches, but you're not going to need them. You're just going straight to the end. Here we have pinkies on the high ground, and if you're quick, you can get a shot off with your shotgun as you're going towards the switch. So it's going to look like when you come in to here, take a shot as you go in, and then press the switch. That should give you time for about 4 more shots approximately before the wall comes all the way down. And in like really fast runs, I'm looking to kill 2 pinkies and then break up an opening so that I can get around and get to the door. But you can kill as many pinkies as you want. You've got 40 shotgun shots here, like you're fine. It's going to be much more dangerous if you just kill the 2 pinkies and then go on through, but it's quite consistent. You're going to get through most of the time, but you just got to watch. Like if you're trying to dodge around right and you get a pinky that sticks you on the wall, that's a really dangerous spot to be in. Go to the blue door. Now, on Ultraviolence difficulty, there's a Cacodemon up here. There's going to be 3 imps and 1 pinky. And before you hit the switch, you don't want to go straight to the switch. You actually want to strafe into this wall. And you're going to see me do that in my runs, and that's because that's going to wake up the Cacodemon, because I need him to come all the way down and give me the space so that I can get in and press the switch. If I just go straight to the switch and I don't wake up this Cacodemon, then you've kind of screwed up and you've lost yourself about 5 seconds. So go into the teleporter, wake up the Cacodemon, hit the switch quickly. If you do this all in one nice swift motion, the imps should never block you getting to that switch. And after you hit the switch, you're going to kill your 3 imps. Wait for your Cacodemon to be somewhere around here so that there is space. I make the mistake occasionally of not waiting long enough and not giving the Cacodemon enough room to come out, and that can ruin your run. Yo, Aquila, thank you very much for the bits. Another Caco here, we're just gonna slide. kill the imp, and then go to the end of the map. Just attempt to stay off the Cacodemon if you can, if that makes sense. Is when you're sliding around, don't slide against the Cacodemon, but slide in like a little more distance around it, and that's going to just prevent like melee strikes, because Cacodemons have this, they're not like a Pinky where you can bait an attack, just back up, and it's going to miss you every time. Cacodemons have really low wind up to their attack. They attack nearly immediately. There's no baiting. It's you get hit or you don't. As Deimos anomaly. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and I'm going to show you two different routes, but I'll show you the reason that we go for the one that we do. But if you were doing like, if you were doing an IL, or containment area, is you would go down here. There's a couple lost souls. And if you look at the wall here, you can see these little white rectangles in about the top section of my screen that go all the way across. And what you're going to look for is this one here, because it's still like a rectangle, but it's way smaller. And that's actually your visual cue for hitting your switch up above. Is you can see that switch, Z-axis, you can hit switches from an infinite height up and down. You can just look towards that. Press spacebar. But you got to quickly get to your platform if you're going to go to the exit door, because I don't think you can get out if you waited too long. So you do that in a quick motion, is you hit your switch, go back onto the platform, and then get to the end. Okay, so let's go with the actual route. If you end off map 1 and you have like 30 health, you're fine. Because we've got this Berserk pack, which is the first time it comes into the game. And that will take you... Let's give myself a rocket launcher here. I'm just going to blast myself. It's going to take you straight back to 100% health. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't understand the Berserk pack really well, but my screen goes red with a little filter. And I assumed when the red filter went away from the Berserk pack that it no longer works. But that's not true. When the red filter goes away, your Berserk is active for the entire map, from start to finish, until you are done. So, that's not going to be used in the UV speedrun, but if you were doing a Tyson run, or you wanted to make use of your Berserk pack in some sort of huge, I don't know, slaughter map or PWAD, you can use your Berserk from that point on until start to finish. I think everybody kind of assumed that. I didn't know that until like 2010. I'm like, oh, I would just change weapons afterwards and just go away from the Berserk. We're going to go away, and we're going to wave bye-bye to Tom Hall's beautiful crate maze. I was reading up, and there's a crate maze, too, in Jedi Knight Outcast. It's on the mission where you're going through the stealth sections with the officers and the stormtroopers, and you're going up to the main ship. I can't remember what the ship is called. It starts with a D. But there's a crate maze in that, and it's based off the crate maze from Tom Hall. But we get our Berserk. There's not a lot of threats on the way, but there's going to be 2 imps that you need to be wary of to try not to take a lot of damage. But there's tons of supplemental health in E2M2. But you're just going to get to the switch, and then you want to hit the trigger quickly. Get your staircase to go up. Gonna go around this corner. Got health, you've got this if you really wanted it, but that would be like a super safety strat. There's not much of a reason to go for it. Episode 2 just ain't that dangerous. But you're gonna have a Spectre here, so you kind of wanna go around the Spectre so that you can hit this switch, and you're gonna get your plasma, plus 100 cells, and I'd say get this rocket too. It's like a safety rocket, so you don't you'll ensure yourself to have enough on spawning vats for E2M7. Yeah, episode 2 is a gimme, but when you're just practicing and you're working on your strafe running and getting around monsters, it's not gonna look exactly the same, Aquila. You can get to a point, it's like, oh, I'm dying a lot, and that's when you just have to ask questions or put in the practice, essentially. It's not all going to come into place on your very first attempt. You've got like an extra 10 health here, you've got 25. And the strategy we're going to use, so instead of pressing the switch, but you could do that if you wanted to, you're just going to do an SR50 from there to there. And you've got extra space, it's not too tough to do. You just want to line yourself out so that you're not going at such an angle, because that'll be more difficult and you're more likely to miss it. Do that. Hit your switch. Refinery uses the same music as the intermission screens. We've got 2 imps, you're just gonna go around them. Go through here. You've got a bunch of enemies in here, like imps and the Baron of Hell, but they don't get out fast enough to block you in any sort of way. Once you get here, you're gonna go back to your pacifist routes, and you're going to stop shooting, because you don't want the pinkies to wake up in the blue key room. And same thing with the Lost Souls, is we're gonna try to get here, drop down silently, and then hug the left wall so that you can get past both Lost Souls. We want both Lost Souls to really be on the right, so they won't block us in any capacity, so we can go up, and we're gonna get an extra 60 plasma. So we will be at... Good on me for using cheats, right? Okay. We can run through this really quick. Whatever. You get to see the route one more time. Yeah, you're gonna be at 200, but it's just like, oh, I'm at 600. We should show what we're physically gonna have on the run. Okay, hit that, hit your switch. That's just my style. Always a cheater. Okay, containment area. So again, we're gonna go. If you have high health, you don't have to get the Berserk pack. You can just keep going around. That'll save you half a second. All the frames add up. All the ticks. Get around. Switch. Plasma cell pack. SR50 jump. Now hold on here, do pacifist, go left. And you have a pinky here, and if you get too close to the marble wall on the right, the pinky is going to wake up. And we're going to try not to do that, because the method with the pinky just being asleep in like death is we can do a consistent strat opening up this door to always get out of this room in under a few seconds without really getting blocked up. But we want to pick up this key, and then you're going to like slam into this pinky while getting into the door, and there's 2 variations of what can happen. And one is you're going to lodge in, and you're able to open the door quickly. And the second one is the pinky like blocks you around here, and you can't quite get to the door. But you have the same reaction in either case, is you want to shoot about 3 or 4 plasma at the pinky, because in this case, if the pinky gets you stuck here, is the plasma is going to cause it to back up. Just a little bit. And when it backs up, you're going to be back in your lodged place. But if you get here, you also want to prevent the pinky from taking a bite out of your ass. So you also shoot 3 or 4 plasma if you get this variation too. Get out of here, go around. If you want this armor, or this armor, you can grab it if you want to. Go here, you're gonna go along this wall. It's a north-facing wall, so we can do the wall run. Just like that, go very fast. Now, when you open up this door, is you want to be like on your spacebar and on your attack button at the same time. Because we want to shoot immediately as the door goes up. Like that. So like space shoot, space shoot. Because if we're hanging out here against this side, when we shoot, the pinky is going to come into this hallway, and there should be enough time that we can kind of like shoot the pinky and get into this hallway. Now, if you haven't shot in here, all of these enemies do not wake up unless you shoot in this hallway. But if you're shooting here, and you're shooting this pinky which comes across, then none of it will wake up. And that's going to make this section more consistent. We get around the pinky, go through, and we're going to strafe. There will be lost souls here and an imp that you have to deal with. This hallway can have like 1, 2, or 3 lost souls. Generally it's 1, sometimes it's 2. But you're going to go in, take some shots to kill the lost souls. You're going to get to the end of this hallway, and then you're going to shoot and kill an imp. Go through, go across. Cacodemon is on the left side, so you can just slide on past him, usually, but you can get an imp or a pinky that just gets in your way. Plus 25% health that I picked up. Kill the Spectre. That's the end of the refinery. After E2M1, E2M4 is the first dangerous level, I would call it, in one where you might actually die. So we're just gonna go here. There's a couple imps in the hallway, just dodge them. Another imp here to dodge. And then there's 3 more in this room, so you'll be likely taking like a wider angle. And I try to keep the imps alive, because when the imps will come back, we want them to attempt to open the door to save you a second. But if it's a second time saved, that's not gonna matter that much to you when you're just first working out on it. You can kill all 3 imps easily. It's a second. You have a Baron of Hell in this room, and just be wary of where he's going. If he's by the door and he's infighting with another imp, for example, once he kills that imp, he's going to change his sights onto you. And a melee from a Baron of Hell or a Hell Knight, which come in Doom 2, does between 10 and 80 damage. And like at this section of the run, 80 damage could kill you. It hurts. It hits hard. So we get back out this door after the blue key. And we're just going to go here. 2 ways you can do this to get the yellow key. So you can either do this and just kind of go straight on out. But if we reload it, you can, if you're quick on the pickup, just go in and out. So just kind of strafe in, and then turn and strafe out. Just slightly quicker. Baron of Hell on this door. So I go to one side when I'm opening the yellow door, and I'm listening to if the Baron is going to start attacking. And if I can hear that sound, so if I'm hanging out on the left side and I hear the Baron is attacking, I'll just shove to the right side. And that's how you can do like a blind dodge. Prevent a bit of that damage. Go all the way around. I'm gonna open up, get this plasma, and 200 is... That's a good number right now. I'd say like 205, 210 would be like, you know, maybe a touch more optimal, but 200 at E2M4, you're in fairly good shape. Because all of episode 2, like the routing that we're doing, it's based around the plasma rifle. Is we're trying to get ourselves 180-ish plasma so that we can kill the Cyber Demon without using any rockets. Because it's faster to kill with the plasma than the rockets. There's a Cacodemon here, so we're going to slide around on the left side. Hey, Dragonfly, thanks for the raid. But with the Cacodemon, we want to shoot him as we slide around. So we'll kind of shoot like that. But if you're not having luck with that, there's like a Pinky too. You can kill him and go around, or you can kill both. You know. Whatever you want to do, but fastest way, hug the left, shoot the Caco a few times, and then go straight. This hallway sucks for speedrunning. It's difficult to kind of do optimally. Usually a Cacodemon in your way here. Do whatever you can to dodge him, and then get around to this teleporter. And then with this Pinky, just hug a wall so that the Pinky will come also to the left side, and we can go straight on right, going to the switch. Okay, if we look behind us, we have a soul sphere. If we go and we touch the door, if you need the health, plus 100, perfect. Get your supercharge, kill the 2 imps, and then leave. Like, all these maps are going fast. It's episode 2 is a lot easier than 1. And that works for me. There's not even as much optional stuff, but there's less reason to need it. But the E2M2 Soul Sphere, it's a perfect one. If you're really needing that health. And I have gone for it before. You lose about 1.5 seconds by going for that Soul Sphere. One shotgunner in the first room, and a few imps. So you can kill the shotgunner. And we're gonna go around the right side. Go up here, and there's a shotgunner in your way. So shoot and kill him. And what we want to do here like, I take this route, and that's because it's dodging a floor trigger, which lowers the barons. So let's save this, and if I'm going around here, you can see these don't activate, and the barons don't come down. Okay, turning off my browser source just failed. That's okay. Thanks for the sub, Yukito. But if we go around there, the barons do not lower. But if we went like here, it comes down. We just want to go around. We're going to do that. Get our plus 20 plasma. And you're going to shoot once as you're coming around. Because that's going to activate 3 imps. And we want them to move away from the door. Because if they do successfully move away, got to check the box that deactivates it when not visible. That's okay, it's not a big deal. We'll just have people complaining on the YouTubes and, you know, like 50 years down the line that, all these sub notifications when he's trying to explain a speedrun. But we want the imps to come back. Because we want it so that we can open that switch and run on through without having to kill any imps or waste any extra time. But if you have an imp and he's too close to the door, you're just going to have to kill him. You're going to have to use a bit of your plasma. Optional health here. Go around the Pinky. Optional health. Go around the Pinky. Got some health. And we do... I guess your health doesn't matter too much for the Void Glide, because you're going to get a Berserk pack and there's a bunch of health before that. But we want to be somewhat high or over 60 at the start of E2M6, because there's a room with a Pinky and a Cacodemon And 60 damage is the max that a Cacodemon can hit you for. So if you're over 60, you have a bit of safety built in. Gonna go in here, go to the left, go around. Then you're gonna run as quickly as you can past the nukage, but we have a Pinky, and if you get the worst variation of luck, the Pinky runs into here, and you have to kill him, but in most cases, the Pinky is going to kind of wake up. He's going to come after Doom Guy, and you can just dodge him. 2 wall runs you can use in this hallway. 1, 2. Get across. Just go a little bit into this door so that it activates the imp in front of you, and then you can just slide past to the left. And then go to the end. The Baron of Hell and the Cacodemon aren't really threats. You get around them. Okay, here we're going to kill the zombie man, kill the Pinky, and then go and hit the switch. And if you use like all of your plasma, let's just assume so, the monsters are scary, they're doing a lot of damage, and you're like, oh god. You kill everything and you have no plasma left over by E2M2 the boss level. There is so many rockets on the Cyber Demon map, you can still take them out with that. You will be fine. We're going to get our rockets, and then as you come here, do a wall run, and go to the switch. Pick up your Berserk. That's going to put you back at 100. Okay. Gonna shoot these guys. Now, the Void Glide takes some practice to do. This is an out-of-bounds trick. And so for the first times, I would just recommend that you kill everything here. Kill the Pinkies, kill the Imps, and also kill the Pinkies in here. So that's going to put a damper on the plasma strategy for episode 2. But your plasma is still going to kill everything way faster than just using like a shotgun or a chain gun in this area. It's not all bad that we have our plasma. It's just that your Cyber Demon kills will be less consistent as you have to do this. But when you get more confident, you can even go to ignore all the monsters until you're down to like 10 health if you haven't gotten the Void Glide by that time. And then you can kill everything in the room if it just hasn't gone according to plan. But the Void Glide, using this corner here, so you can look, it almost looks like a 90-degree angle here, but it's pointing northwest. Northeast. But Looper was telling me that one of the reasons we can get the Void Glide to work in this specific location is it's making use of a wall run north plus a wall run east. And what's like actually happening and why we can get out is that our instantaneous speed is going over 32 units. And if we remember, Doom Guy is 32 by 32 units in width and length with our hitbox. So as our speed has gone over 32 units, the engine like kind of tries to see where we are on the next, I guess, tick. And it says, oh, you're all the way out of bounds, and then we kind of like go out of bounds. There's other ways and other places you can even do a Void Glide in like Ultimate Doom. It's just not all of them have an exit switch that you can get to or you can press. So functionally, they're useless. Is you can get out of bounds, but if you can't press the exit switch, it won't do anything for you. But on E1M2, on the Baron of Hell boss level, there's a Void Glide in, I think it's the chain gun room, where you get the chain gun and there's 3 boxes of bullets. And if you do a thing boost off the Pinky, which is like the wall run off the monster we were talking about, is you can use that to like slam into the wall and go out of bounds. But I'm a little less up to date on that one. If you go to YouTube and you search up Zero Master, so that's ZEROMASTER, L-E-R-O-M-A-S-T-E-R, or Looper, L-O-O-P-E-R, in reference to Doom, is you could maybe go to those channels or whatever and maybe ask them. If you were really interested in the E1M8 Void Glide, those two Doom speedrunners they know more about it, and you could get a better answer. But, so here, I'm not using demo format. If you were using demo format, and if we remember our turning resolution changes, so if we were using demo format, as far as I'm aware, is looking like somewhere into this corner, and I am going to try to show that off with demo format, because just to make it more fair. But, I guess one of the more consistent ways I saw of doing that is just by backing up a little bit and then keep doing SR. Just like that. Just do exactly what I did. Back up a little bit and do the SR50s, and you can get straight on through. But that's more how you would want to do it if you had demo format. That's perfect. Cool, we can even do that showcase. But yeah, it's just small backups and then like SR50 into the wall. But the one I use, and the reason it's not working with the turning resolution changed in the demo is that I think we just, when you get your chunk movement, is it gets into like a bad spot where you just can't get through. But without demo format, I'm looking between. So again, we have our pixel lines that go all the way to the roof, down and up. So we've got, you know, a lighter green one, we have a darker green, we have a very dark gray, we have a really light gray. And I use this for loads of tricks, rocket jumps, zero presses, glides, like everything. So when we're coming to this wall, when we just go across, so we're starting from the corner here, go across, I'm looking here. So we've got a dark gray on the left, and we've got a light green going up. And right about in the middle of those two is the visual cue that I use for doing the Void Glide non-demo format. So let's save this, and we're just gonna run here, and you're gonna kind of run, and you can see Doom Guy shift there, as like he's going kind of crazy. Like this this corner has a poltergeist. It's spooky. But you want to kind of move Doom Guy a little bit left and right, and as we see there, that was kind of closer to the gray side. Yeah. And all I'm doing is I'm holding W. I'm just holding forward. There's nothing special in the inputs that you do. But if you, once we get out of bounds and we take a look, it's like, oh, got a rainbow of colors going on. Because we're essentially, we've like, if you know, if you're using the cheat ID clip, we've clipped out of the map. We're in the out of bounds portion. If we look here, yeah, take a look at the minimap here. We can run where we want. Go into the darkness. But we can see that we have the exit. If we get up to it, there's a switch that's really, really close. And we can press this one. And how I do it is I use an audio cue. So we can hear Doom Guy just kind of humping the wall. But if we go too far, we can't hear anything. There's just blank. There's nothingness. The switch press is going to work between there being no sound and between Doom Guy humping the wall. So if I just go up. So we're humping the wall. That was quicker than I wanted it to be. But that's kind of how it works. Okay. So Doom Guy there's no sound. So we're kind of like in between that. So if we're just going to, say, strafe move over a little bit back to the right, we can hear sound again. So it's in between there. So we're on the white portion of the pixels and between the gray. It'd be in between these two areas. And you can essentially do this at any angle. So if I like move, you know, move and I'm looking more straight, I do the same thing. There we go, we got the press. I'm too good at this now. But we go back and we're hearing no sound, so it's like, okay, I gotta move back right a bit. We're moving back right. We can hear that again, so I can use like vertical mouse movement to even like move a bit forward. There's no sound, so it's in between those two. There, we got the switch press. And you're just gonna have to practice for that. If you're using short ticks or demo format, that's gonna be, it's quite a bit tougher. Because as you've moved past the spot, you're going to have to use like more, you'll need to use strafe on and kind of move back and then retry, because as you go over the point of the void glide in between nothingness and humping the wall, it's tougher to get back into position with demo format. So you'll just need to watch out for that. Most importantly, with your void glide, is it doesn't necessarily work in all source ports. This is why, like, GZ Doom and the Void Glide, very problematic. So again, if you're kind of speedrunning Doom, I recommend Prboom Plus or Crispy Doom. I do not recommend GZ Doom, because, so in Crispy Doom, everything is reproducible from vanilla. And I don't think this is the case with GZ Doom. It's more of a, I don't know. It's like attempting to do everything and trying to be close, but it's like a modern source port, so you can do more fancy types of mapping in it. But for speedrunning, it's not the go-to. Okay, once we get to the spawning vats, we've got 2 pinkies in this room. So if we go really quickly, this pinky here, that's right beside the pillar, shouldn't really be affecting you. Just go around. We're going to take care of this shotgunner as we go, and then we're going to hug the right wall, so that hopefully the Cacodemon will hug the right wall with us, and we can get on around him. Tons of imps in this hallway that can block you up. Get around any way you can, and you're going to pick up the invulnerability, but I am going to skip that just for now, because I want to show something off. But you would be taking out your rocket launcher, and then you're going to kill this pinky and this imp. And if you go too far into this room, there's another imp, but we don't have to wake him up. If we stay here and we kill, so that imp and this pinky, that's all we need to do. Unless you're getting like locked down by enemies that are coming behind, and the rocket, you haven't quite figured out the rocket jump yet, because that's how we're going to get to the end of the map, is getting to this door, is using a rocket jump. Or I guess a rocket boost, because we don't have jumping in Doom. It's going to increase our speed by a lot. And what I do is, when I'm getting in position for this one, it's not as precise as the rocket jumps in Doom 2. So I look approximately here. So I'm going to be using this corner to line up. So if I'm coming to this room and I do the couple shots for the rocket jump, like I'm going to look at this, kind of get around there, you know, I'm just looking at the right side of my screen, and then I'm going to back up a bit until it's more in line with here. So if we look at the bottom at like the red rock texture, I'm kind of looking at that red sort of rock at the bottom. Then once we get here, just turn left So we're looking approximately there. And what I'm looking at... So see this... it sort of looks like a cleaver. But the black shadow of the rock with the cleaver here. Maybe it's like metamorphized volcanic rock. Who knows? But yeah, so kind of that cleaver. Again, corner, over a bit, turn left, so that we're looking there. And how am I doing that so I know I'm looking at the right space with the rocket launcher? Take a look at the rocket launcher weapon sprite here. If you look in the middle and somewhat towards the top of the rocket launcher, there's like a backwards U that you can make out. And for the vast majority of rocket launcher tricks, I'm using this backwards U. There's another small white line that we use on the rocket launcher, but I'm going to set up a screenshot, and I'm going to circle where you're supposed to look at for that one. And I might even do that for the backwards U. But I think the backwards U is fairly obvious. But I'm using the backwards U to get myself into position. We can see that. So we'll show the backwards U. There we go. Get over here. Let's do a quick save. And when we're shooting the rocket, we want the rocket to come off there-ish on the wall. So we'll be using an SR50 right. There. You just need to practice the timing. So, there. So that was too early. And that's because the rocket came out before we got around the corner. So I hit there instead of there. And you have some lenience on this one. So if I moved like a little bit more to the right, even that, it would likely still work. Whoops. Didn't in that case. There we go. So yeah, it's a lenient rocket jump. So you've got your position down. Now we can do it with the invulnerability. So go on in. Take out our pinky and our imp. Get into position. So we see our corner there right in front of us. There we go. We'll save this. Oops, I didn't use my mouse for that. Yeah. I think I might be possibly too far to the left. There. I was hitting that really consistently in my run the other day, so I'm just gonna assume I woke up early. I'm tired. Mess around with that position there for the rocket jump. Okay, we get to the Tower of Babel. Pronounce it however you want. Babel. So starting here, where we see the mutilated Baron, we back on up. We're gonna hit this switch and this switch. So back up, switch, switch. And you want to get your the blue armor. 186 is quite good for the plasma, but it's like close on if it's gonna kill the Cyber Demon or not kill the Cyber Demon. So we're gonna open the one straight in front. Gonna get a soul sphere, and in this case I would pick up one pack of rockets. If I was at like say 190 or 195 plasma, I would totally skip the rocket pack. But you're gonna come out here and your Cyber Demon is gonna activate. And I try to be pretty close to there. Is there a damage range on the plasma shots, or is it fixed? Plasma does between 5 and 40 damage. So it does it in intervals of 5 too. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. There's a lot of range. But the RNG in Doom means that I'm pretty sure you can't get like 186 shots of 5, because the Cyber Demon mostly dies within the same range of like 15 to 20 plasma shots. So there's a lot of RNG in like a single shot, but I think over time, just how the numbering or stuff works in the code so that it's still somewhat samey. But yeah, we're gonna get here. We want to be close to the Cyber Demon, but watching out for the lost souls around us. After you get to 0, we're gonna shoot this plasma. What's the point of hitting the 2 switches at the beginning? You only really need to press the Soul Sphere one, which is true. It's just that you're still grabbing the blue armor, and it is kind of muscle memory for me. But the other one that you opened on the one side would just be a room with like 100 rockets. So if you ran out of plasma, you would go in the other room and you'd pick up a whole bunch of the rockets. But like with Doom Guy picking up the blue mega armor, you're still not technically losing time. But yeah, you only need to use one if you're just getting like the Soul Sphere and the 1 or the 2 rocket packs. I'm getting low for a reason, because once we get to 0, as the plasma is dropping out of view and trying to change to a different weapon, is you can press 5 with the rocket launcher so that it'll change straight to your rocket launcher with no time wasted. So it goes to 0, and I hit 5. Because if I let it go to 0, and let's say I don't press anything, it changed to the shotgun. What the hell is that? We don't want that. Press 5 as the plasma is going down. And that's it. That's your episode 2, no monster routing for the Shores of Hell. Now, I'm going to show you what we've just done, but with monsters.